Hey, and welcome back to my podcast, Marissa. Today, I want to talk to you about manifestation, the law of attraction, and affirmations. I started getting into the law of attraction a few years ago at the end of 2021. I was going through a really hard time in my life. My aunt let me borrow a book called Mirror Work by Louise Hay. I don't have that book anymore. I wish I did, but I used that book for about 3 months to do the exercises about introspection and just digging a little deeper on who I am and why my self-talk is so negative. The book Mirror Work encourages the use of affirmations. I didn't know what that was, but I really liked the idea of changing my self-talk or inner voice into a more positive light. So I did some research and found a book that's called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. This book really taught me everything I know about manifestation and affirmations. I love this book so much because it helps me every time I pick it up, and it helps me help myself. There is a movie version of this book on YouTube, and it is free. It's about an hour and a half. I'll put that link in the description below so that you can easily click over to that. Even though I've been doing this for a few years, I'm still learning and still kind of getting the hang of how to manifest and consistency with affirmations and how to really create my own dream reality. So, what is the law of attraction exactly? According to the dictionary, it's defined as the belief that positive thoughts and actions cause good things to happen, and negative thoughts and actions cause bad things to happen. We attract or experience more of what we focus on. An example would be like a pessimist versus an optimist. A pessimist is always thinking like, bad things always happen to me, I'm super unlucky. And then they see in their lives and in the world that they're proved right. They start running late to things or they get their pocket stuck on a doorknob. However, an optimist would see the opposite and they would see, wow, my life is so great. I'm super grateful for everything I have. Good things happen to me. Everything works out for me, which is a common affirmation I hear among the people in the manifestation community. Everything works out for me. And that's a really good one. But optimists are also proven right when it comes to seeing in their world and their reality that good things do happen to them because they're looking for evidence of it. Another example would be when you think about wealthy versus poor people, wealthy people think of themselves as wealthy. They have the confidence, the drive, the mindset of success. They don't think of themselves as poor or broke or whatever. They can see themselves being successful in pretty much any situation. When they go shopping, they don't worry about price tags because they're not worried about lack of money, that kind of thing. When I think about manifestation, I think about the fact that your mindset determines your reality. In my life, poor body image has always been a problem. But slowly over the past few years, I've been working on confidence and learning that it's all in my mind. Human beings operate on frequencies or energy levels. A higher frequency or a higher energy level is an emotion like happiness, joy, excitement. And the opposite would be a low energy level or a low frequency, which is like sadness, depression, illness, that kind of thing. When we keep ourselves on a certain frequency, we experience more of that frequency. If we're having a really good day and we start thinking about all the good things that are happening, we naturally tend to start doing nice things for strangers, like holding the door for them if they're within like a reasonable distance. And then that makes them happy. And then maybe they pass it along. Maybe we say hello to somebody unprompted and they smile and then you smile, you feel better. When you're on that high frequency of feeling good and doing good, it's like a natural cycle that is within you. It just keeps coming back to you. It's mirrored back to you. Another example is like playing sad songs when you're already sad. When you're on the frequency of sadness and you play a song that you know is going to make you more sad, you're just going to keep receiving more of that emotion. You keep yourself stuck or stagnant in that headspace and on that frequency. The law of attraction is meant to bring your desires into reality. You do this by putting yourself on the frequency that has that desire already. This is called manifesting or manifestation. You create your reality every single day subconsciously, whether you want to or not. Your subconscious is always on a frequency at all times. There are so many methods that go along with manifesting and the law of attraction, and you're welcome to Google them, but here are just a few of my favorites. The first method I want to talk about is vision boards. Oftentimes you'll see this at the beginning or the very end of a year where somebody says, this is my vision board for the next year. For example, when I started reading The Secret, I learned about vision boards in January 2022, and I created my first vision board and put it up on my wall so I could see it all throughout the year. It's a collection of pictures that represent your desires that you can see every single day or multiple times a day so that you put yourself in the mindset of that reality. It's a visual reminder of your manifestation. Vision boards can have multiple topics though. Mine had jobs, exercise, physical appearance, relationships, cooking skills. I wanted to move to my dream state. I wanted to make more music and content. So it can be a wide variety of things, but the pictures themselves need to be specific so you know exactly what you're trying to draw into your reality. From that vision board in January of 2022, I did complete one of the things, which was moving to my dream state, and improved on all of the other ones. So even though it wasn't accomplished, I did put myself in the reality or in the mindset of that reality. So I was able to attract those items or those experiences into my life. The second method is affirmations and meditations. Usually affirmations are meant to be repeated daily or multiple times a day, but I'm not always the best at remembering to do this. So something I've learned that has helped is putting it on a sticky note on my bedroom wall or my bedroom door, or even writing it on my mirror so I see it when I'm getting ready every day. Like I said before, I've always suffered from low self-esteem and poor self-image, but practicing affirmations or just like thinking to myself that I'm beautiful as I am and that I don't have to change to meet anybody's beauty standards has really helped me improve that self-image over the years. I'm still working on it, like I said, but it's definitely an improvement, and it's because of this change of mindset through affirmations. There is another YouTube video that I really like that I'll put in the description below so that you can do it as well. It's basically affirmations against self-doubt. So it's positive, affirming statements that help you think more positively about yourself. I used this YouTube video a lot when I was first getting into manifesting, specifically because you have to believe in yourself to be able to manifest anything. I also use YouTube subliminal messages while I'm sleeping so that I can get the information into my brain and subconscious while I'm asleep. And we can talk about subliminals another time because that's a much larger topic. But I almost always have positive subliminals or a low cortisol frequency kind of thing playing while I'm sleeping so that I get the positive information to my subconscious. My favorite meditation is by Bob Proctor, which is also found for free on YouTube. I know Dr. Joe Dispenza has a lot of good ones that are very intentional. Like if you want to do a specific manifestation, he has those on Spotify, and I believe they're on YouTube, but don't quote me on that. But the one I like the most by Bob Proctor is pretty much just a spiritual cleanse, and it kind of just recenters and grounds you. So I'll leave that one in the description as well. Okay, my last method that I really enjoy with manifesting is scripting. So scripting is when you write down your manifestations or the things that you want in present tense. So in this journal, I was manifesting the purchase of our own house. I didn't want to rent anymore. And I wanted to be in a house rather than an apartment or a condo. So I wrote in this journal a couple times, I'm so happy now that we have our own beautiful home. So instead of saying I want to purchase a home, you write it like it already happened. Like, I'm so happy now that I've done it, or I'm so happy now that it's complete. But you want to be more specific with it so you're thinking exactly about what you're trying to do. And I've learned that with scripting, the more specific you can get, the better, because I've accidentally manifested things that I was trying to manifest, but not exactly how I was intending. Let me explain. I was manifesting a big move from my college state to my dream state, the state that I wanted to live in forever, since childhood, that I don't ever want to move away from. And in 2022, that happened. However, it was crowded and it wasn't as safe as I would have liked, and it's definitely not the place that I wanted to be for the rest of my life. But the manifestation did work because I ended up in my dream state. I didn't specify where or what the requirements were that I had expected. So while in the moment I didn't feel like my manifestation worked, looking back at it now, it did. So after I saw that result, I turned my focus to a more specific goal of where exactly in my dream state I wanted to live. So then I started scripting, I live in this type of house in this part of this state. And with a lot of consistency and determination, that finally came true at the end of last year. So now I get to live in this beautiful home, much closer to where I wanted to end up. And it's perfect for my little family of dogs and all of the things that I want to accomplish in this stage of my life. The next goal will be much bigger and much more specific. At the same time that I was trying to manifest the purchase of this home, I was also manifesting a dream job. However, I was not very specific with that either. I'll just tell you what this one is for the sake of the story. I've been trying to manifest a job at corporate Disney for over 10 months. And a lot of limiting beliefs have told me they only hire from inside, it's really competitive to get a job there, and that it just takes forever. And I let those things seep into my subconscious, and I haven't been able to get a job there yet. Also, my affirmations and manifestations in my journals were not very specific. I was writing things like, I work at Disney, or I'm so glad I work at Disney. I'm so thankful now that I work at Disney. After doing that for a long time, and now having moved closer to a Disney park, I work remotely, so I can take my laptop and go to Disney anytime I want to just work there. So yes, technically I work at Disney, but do you see the problem here? I wasn't as specific as I needed to be. The affirmation needed to be, I work at Disney in this specific office with a team of so many people, and this is what I do. If I had done that, I would have experienced a different result. In last week's episode, I mentioned that I had possibly accidentally manifested 3 years worth of rejections from the police departments. I was applying to police department jobs left and right for probably over 3 years at this point, and every single time I would hear back from them, it would either be a rejection or I would go in and do an interview, and that would be followed by a rejection. The problem here was not my affirmations, because I was scripting and writing things like, I work for a specific police department doing this specific dispatch job, and being very intentional with that. But inside my heart, like in my soul, I knew I did not want to be in that position. I knew that was not the job I wanted to settle down into. I somehow knew that I just am not meant for that job. And honestly, the possibility of getting that job was a scary thought for me. So even though I was doing all the affirmations and doing all the techniques that I should have been doing, I didn't actually want it. Subconsciously, I knew. So for 3 years, even though consciously I was still trying, subconsciously I did not want that for myself. And this is how manifesting works. It has to be at the level of your subconscious. If you don't believe it with all of your heart, it's not going to happen. So you have to be specific and you have to believe it. Being specific is also pretty tricky because the universe works in magnificent ways. A lot of times our manifestations will come in ways that we don't expect. So when I say be specific, I mean about the end goal, not about the journey to that goal. The way you're going to achieve the goal that you're working for is not up to you. So don't worry about it. Leave the how to the universe. I had a hard time trying to figure out what to say in this episode because I wasn't sure where to start. I've been doing this for so many years that I have so much information in my brain, but I still haven't quite figured it out, I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to figure out what works for me and what doesn't. So I'm kind of learning about all of this at the same time as you guys. I've done the research with my books and writing in my journals and stuff, but I'm still figuring it out. So if you're just at the beginning of your affirmation and manifestation journey, come along. I think the real reason that I got into manifestation is because I felt so powerless back in 2021 when I was first exploring everything, because of my situation in life. And I just felt like there was nothing I could do and I was helpless and all the negative emotions that a person can experience. But thankfully, my aunt gave me the little push into mindset and positivity and positive self-talk, which led me to manifesting and learning about the law of attraction. I do believe in it, and I don't think it's a game, but I like to think of it kind of as a game when I talk to people about it because it feels a little bit less woo-woo. But I 100% believe, if you think something about yourself, you're going to be proven right, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. And if you say something about yourself, the same thing applies. Have you ever heard somebody say oh, I can't do it, and somebody else would respond, well, not with that attitude? That's it's kind of a joke, but that's really exactly how the law of attraction works. If you have an attitude of, being able to do something, then you'll be able to do it. And that's like a super simplified version of the law of attraction. If you believe that you'll be able to obtain a certain goal, then you will. If you believe that you can't, then you won't be able to. Another resource that I really enjoy is the Neville Goddard YouTube videos. It's just a variety of different topics. Like one of them is Manifest Your Dream Life, which is the one that I use probably most often. And of course, Neville Goddard is long gone. Like, he is deceased. But it's like different people using, like, I think an AI voice for Neville Goddard to create these videos of him talking about his lectures that he did actually give a long time ago. And it's really interesting to see like how he speaks about your reality and how you perceive things. I'll put videos of Neville Goddard on in the background while I'm doing chores or like cooking or something, so that it like seeps into my subconscious while I'm busy doing other things. But I will put a link to my favorite Neville Goddard video in the description as well. So you should have plenty of resources to either get started on your manifestation journey or at least learn more about like what I'm talking about, because this really has changed my life and I want to do the same for you. If you do already practice manifestation, let me know in the comments what your favorite methods are and what works for you. Also, let me know what else you want me to talk about regarding manifestation for next week's video. Good luck, and I will see you next week.